Kujawsko-Pomorska e-Szkoła, tu województwo kujawsko-pomorskie, tutaj Toruń, z tej strony witamy Was serdecznie, gorąco. Wybieramy się dzisiaj w podróż z językiem angielskim i z panem profesorem Maciejem Doksą. Panie profesorze, co będzie tematem tej lekcji?
Dzisiaj jedziemy na wakacje.
No panie profesorze, coś więcej poproszę, bo ja tutaj guzików nie zdążę poprzełączać.
A pojedziemy na wakacje, to znaczy konkretnie porozmawiamy sobie, jak porozumiewać się w języku angielskim na wakacjach i opisać to, co na tych wakacjach się dzieje. Good afternoon. So, as I have already said, today we are going on holiday. When you talk about holidays, there is an interesting thing about the very word wakacje in English. You can say holidays in plural. You can also use the singular form, holiday, I'm going on holiday. You can also use the American version of the word vacation. All three words are correct. All three can be used to mean the Polish word wakacje. All right, so first of all, let's talk about different types of holidays. So what kind of holidays can we have? First of all is package holiday. This is the most comfortable type of holiday. You go to a travel agency or you go to the online website of the travel agency. You choose an offer and you pay for it. And everything that is connected with your holidays is included in this offer. So transport, accommodation, usually food, meals, sometimes attractions, insurance, everything. So everything is in one package. That's why it's called package holidays. In Polish to są tak zwane wczasy z biura podróży, wczasy zorganizowane. Another type of holiday which is totally opposite to the package holiday is self-catering holiday. Self-catering holiday is a holiday that you basically have to organize and arrange by yourself. So you have to make the booking, so book the accommodation, you have to organize the transport, and when you arrive you have to take care of your own meals, either cook them or you have to just eat out, go to a restaurant. To są wczasy indywidualne, można powiedzieć wczasy samoobsługowe. Another type of holiday is a trekking holiday or a trek. What is it? Well, this is a kind of holiday in which you move from place to place. You can do it by walking. With a backpack from one place to another, and you spend the night in a different place every day or every few days. You can do this by some transport like hitchhiking, for example. To jest po prostu taka wyprawa, jakieś takie wczasy wędrowne, tak można powiedzieć. A hiking trip is very similar thing to a trek. To a trekking trip you basically walk from place to place. Sometimes you do the hitchhiking, czyli łapanie autostopa. But basically you move from place to place, as I said, usually walking, usually with a backpack. A cruise. Cruise is a type of holiday which you spend on a ship, usually a luxurious cruiser or cruise ship. And you also move from place to place, living on this ship and eating, having your meals at the ship. To jest po prostu rejs, zazwyczaj takim statkiem wycieczkowym. So I'm going on a cruise around the Caribbean. Backpacking trip. As the very name suggests, it's a trip during which you travel with a backpack. Backpacking trip very often is similar or the same as the hiking trip, so you just walk from place to place, or you move by some public transport or hitchhiking from place to place, but with a backpack, which means it's usually low budget. You stay at a hostel or even in a tent. Camping holiday. A camping holiday is a holiday you spend at a campsite, usually living in a tent, or you can stay at a cabin. Cabin is a rather small type of holiday house, just for one family. Or you can also live in so-called mobile home or camper van, and then it is also a camping holiday. Staycation. Well, this word was created out of two words, to stay and vacation. So as the very name suggests, it's a vacation during which you stay at home. You usually stay where you are, and you just enjoy your time. You go to different places, you have some fun. So here we are in Torun. You can stay in Torun, very nice city, for a week or two, and visit all the attractions and nice places that you normally don't have time to visit. A city break. Very often staycation is something like a city break. The difference is that for a city break you usually go to another city, so you don't stay in your own city, in your own place, but you go somewhere. It's a short break, which means it's not a long holiday. It's usually for the weekend, so like for 2 days or maximum 3 days, or during some longer break, like for example the one in May, and you just go to another city and stay there, visit the attractions, see the sights, have fun. Czyli to jest po prostu taki krótki wypad do innego miasta. A tour around, for example, a tour around Europe, a tour around France, a tour around the Teutonic castles in Poland. To jest wycieczka objazdowa po czymś, po jakimś terenie, tak? Po Europie, po Polsce, po Francji, po zamkach krzyżackich i tak dalej, i tak dalej. All right, when you go on holiday, maybe not the most important, but one of the most important things is the accommodation, so the place you stay at. So where can we stay when we are on holiday? Well, we can stay at a luxurious hotel, 5-star, 4-star hotel. For example, often when people go on the package holidays, they stay at luxurious hotel or a guest house. What's a guest house? Well, a guest house is a smaller holiday home which rents out rooms to the holiday makers, czyli po polsku pensjonat, dom wczasowy. A bed and breakfast. Well, a bed and breakfast is very much similar to the guest house, but the bed and breakfast is usually a family-run establishment. It's usually smaller than a guest house, but sometimes it can actually mean the same thing. A bed and breakfast is also called, in short, B&B, czyli jest to też pensjonat. A campsite. You can stay at a campsite. A campsite is a place where people stay living in a tent or in a cabin or in a camper van. Czyli jest to pole kempingowe, camping, pole namiotowe itd., itd. Nowadays, a very popular type of transport and accommodation combined is a caravan. What is a caravan? Well, you have to be careful. This is actually not what the word suggests. To nie jest karawan. Karawan to jest pojazd, którym przewozi się trumny w czasie pogrzebu. But in English, a caravan is actually a kind of trailer, przyczepa, that you hook up to your car and you pull it behind your car and you can live in it at a campsite. Czyli jest to po prostu przyczepa kempingowa. Jeżeli ktoś słyszał o karawaningu, to właśnie karawaning to jest podróżowanie z przyczepą kempingową. Even more popular nowadays is a camper van or a recreational vehicle, or it is also known as a mobile home. These three names, camper van, recreational vehicle, RV, or a mobile home, mean the same thing. This is actually a car, a van, which you can normally drive, and in the back behind the driver's cabin there is a special compartment or room in which you can actually live. To jest po prostu tak zwany camper. On ma kilka nazw w języku angielskim, tak jak powiedziałem. Można mówić camper, camper van, recreational vehicle, zwłaszcza w Stanach się tak mówi, w skrócie RV, ponieważ nazwa jest długa. Amerykanie lubią sobie upraszczać życie, jeżeli chodzi o język, więc mówią RV. Mówi się też mobile home często na to. Alright, for those who are traveling on a tight budget, limited budget, a good accommodation option is a hostel. Po polsku właściwie też już mówimy hostel, czyli tani hotel. Czasami mówimy na to schronisko młodzieżowe, ale najczęściej po prostu hostel. You can stay in a tent. It's the cheapest option, but also the least comfortable, czyli w namiocie. And in a cabin, as I said, a cabin is a small house, often made of wood. It's usually at a campsite, and it's big enough to accommodate one or maybe two families. You usually stay there, and you have to take care of everything else, like the meals and cleaning it and so on and so on. Czyli po polsku tak zwany domek kempingowy. Alright, so where can we spend the holidays? There are of course many places where you can stay during the holidays, but today we are going to talk about the most popular ones. So first of all, holidays at the seaside. What can you do there? Where can you stay there? Well, people usually spend holidays at the seaside in special places or special towns which are called seaside resorts or sea resorts or seaside resorts, czyli tak zwany kurort nadmorski. Teraz bardzo często to słówko resort przenika już do języka polskiego, już wiele razy sam słyszałem, że mówi się też w rezorcie, tak? Czy w resorcie, czy w rezorcie, ale to jest po prostu kurort i prawidłowa nazwa polska to kurort nadmorski. So what can you do there if you decide to spend the holidays at the seaside? Well, the most obvious thing is that you can lie on the beach, since there is a beach and we go there for sunshine. So we usually lie on the beach and we sunbathe. Sunbathe, czyli opalać się. Why do people sunbathe? Because they want to get a suntan. Get a suntan, czyli opalić się. However, you have to be extremely careful and protect yourself, because if you bathe too long and without protection, you'll get sunburned. Get sunburned to jest doznać poparzeń słonecznych. How can you protect yourself against sunburn? Of course, you can use a suntan lotion with some sunscreen, czyli tak zwany mleczko do opalania, czy preparat jakiś do opalania z ochroną przeciw promieniom słonecznym. Of course, you can swim in the sea, you can walk along the beach, and when you walk along the beach, you can collect amber. What is amber? Well, the Polish seaside is famous for amber. We even have a highway that runs from the south to the city of Gdańsk through Toruń, which is called Amber 1. Why? Amber Bursztyn. So because the highway goes more or less along the historical Amber road, so it is called Amber 1. Czyli amber to bursztyn. You can also collect shells, you can collect pebbles. What are pebbles? Well, pebble is a small stone, usually with a very regular shape because it has been washed to be round by the sea waves, czyli tak zwane kamyczki. What else can you do? Of course, you can play or do a multitude of sports at the seaside. Most of them are water sports. So, you can play beach ball. Beach ball is a form of volleyball that you play on the beach. This is, of course, not a entirely water sport, well, unless you do it in water. You can also play frisbee. You know what frisbee is probably because the Polish name is the same. Yes, it's a kind of plastic plate that you throw and catch. You can go snorkeling and you can go diving. In Polish, the translation of these two expressions is more or less the same. To jest nurkować. But there is a difference. Snorkeling is for amateurs and you do it by swimming on the surface, you use a snorkel, which is a plastic pipe, which you use for breathing, and a face mask, diving mask. To jest nurkowanie z rurką. So anybody can do it. Diving is when you use some specialist equipment. We also call it scuba diving, czyli nurkowanie z aparatem tlenowym. You can go surfing, you can go windsurfing, you can go kite surfing. The Polish name for kite surfing is kite surfing. So we don't have actually the Polish name, just like with surfing and windsurfing. You can go sailing, you can go fishing. Zauważcie, że przy większości sportów lub takich właśnie czynności rekreacyjnych używa się czasownika go i potem nazwa tego sportu ma końcówkę ing. Dokładnie tak jak tutaj przy tych sportach, o których mówiliśmy. What else can you do at the seaside? Well, children or parents of small children or even adult people, they like to build sandcastles, czyli zamki z piasku. Small kids, they have some plastic forms which they use to make mud pies. Co to jest to mud pies? Na pewno nie jest to żaden pies, mimo że wygląda to jak pies. Mud to błoto, pie to ciasto z błota. Jak my po polsku na to mówimy? Tak zwane babki z piasku. So small kids, toddlers, they make mud pies. People also like to stroll along the beach. It's exactly the same as to walk along the beach. Strolling is just slow walking for pleasure, casual walk. In the morning, if you are able to get up very early in the morning, you can go and watch the sunrise, czyli obserwować wschód słońca. It is much easier to watch the sunset, which in the summertime is at about, I would say, 9-10 p.m. So it's easier to stay a bit longer and watch it. You can also have a beach party, if it's legal, of course. You can visit a lighthouse. Lighthouses are quite popular at the seaside. You know, this is this tall tower. At the top of it is a very powerful light that moves around, warning ships that there is actually the shore there. So, lighthouse, latarnia morska. You can take a boat trip, czyli popłynąć w rejs łodzią, wycieczka statkiem czy wycieczka łodzią. Pamiętajcie, że słówko boat, mimo że znaczy zasadniczo łódź, bardzo często jest też używane w kontekście po prostu statku. And if you're hungry, you can always have fish and chips at the seaside. It's always popular. However, I have heard about fish and chips getting extremely expensive at the seaside. I have heard news about the so-called horror bills, yes, czyli rachunki grozy. All right. Now, if you don't like staying at the seaside, you can also go to the lake and stay at the lake. So where can you stay when you go to the lake? Well, traditionally you can stay at the campsites. Near the popular lake destinations, there are always campsites. So that means that you go camping or you go on a camping holiday. When you decide to stay at a campsite, of course, you can stay in a cabin or in a tent, or as we have already said, a lot of people stay in a camper van, mobile home, or RV, meaning recreational vehicle, meaning camper po polsku. What do you do there when you stay at the lake? Well, the most obvious thing to do is to swim in the lake. You can also rent a kayak or canoe and you can go kayaking or canoeing. I think you know what it means because in Polish it's almost the same thing. I mean, the name is the same. You can go fishing. You can go cycling around the lake, in the forest near the lake. That's what I did last summer. You can also hike in the forest, so walk long distances in the forest. You can have a campfire. A lot of people have a campfire in the evening, you know, roasting sausages, playing the guitar, singing songs together, czyli zrobić sobie po prostu ognisko. If you don't like staying at the water, so at the seaside or by the lake, you can always go to the mountains. So where can you do in the mountains? We're gonna talk about summer holidays in the mountains. So you can stay at a mountain shelter or chalet. What is it? Mountain shelter or chalet is basically like a hotel in the mountains. Mountain shelter is usually the cheap kind of hotel. It's like a shelter but in the mountains. To jest po prostu schronisko górskie. Another name is a chalet. To też by było schronisko górskie, ale takie troszkę w lepszym standardzie. Hotel górski też się czasami mówi. What can you do when you spend holidays in the mountains? Of course, you can go hiking, or you can go on a hike, it means the same thing, or you can hike in the mountains. Są trzy wyrażenia, które znaczą w zasadzie to samo, tak? You can climb a mountain, so people go to the mountains to hike and climb mountains. When you walk in the mountains, you have to remember that we should always walk along a trail, czyli chodzić wzdłuż szlaku. If you don't follow the trail, you can get lost, you can fall down, you can break the law, because very often you are in the national park area, so you cannot actually leave the trail. If you are too lazy to climb a mountain or to hike in the mountains, or if you're not strong enough or you have some health problems, you can always go up using a cable car or a chairlift. What's a cable car? Cable car is like a little car or carriage which hangs on a rope, a steel rope, and takes you up, for example, to Kasprowy Wierch, czyli jest to kolejka linowa. Chairlift. Chairlift is the simpler thing. You are sitting on a chair or something that resembles a couch, and it also takes you up to the mountain top, czyli jest to wyciąg krzesełkowy lub po prostu wyciąg kanapowy, krzesełkowy. Why do you do this? Why do we go up? Why do we climb mountains? Well, because we want to reach a top, a summit, a peak, czyli dotrzeć, wspiąć się na szczyt. Po angielsku można użyć każdego z tych trzech wyrażeń. A top to jest szczyt góry, a summit to jest też szczyt góry i peak to również szczyt góry. And when you reach a top of the mountain peak, you can admire the views from there. This is what people usually do. What else can you do in the mountains? Well, if you go to the mountains, for example, in Poland, you can meet the local people who are kind of special people because they have their own traditions, they have their own accent, or they have their own, let's say, dialect. They are called Highlanders. So Highlanders means the mountain people, people who live in the mountain areas. Po polsku górale. So you can meet the Highlanders. You can get to know Highland folk traditions or mountain folk traditions, czyli poznać tradycje ludowe. You can also see the wildlife. In the mountains there is usually more wildlife because these areas are traditionally more wild. So you can see some wildlife like a marmot, like a mountain goat, like a bear or wolves. You can also taste local cuisine. In the mountains, as I said, they usually have their own traditions, including their own cuisine, so their special dishes. You can taste local specialities. Special traditional food. For example, when you go to the Polish mountains, you can taste these special types of sheep cheese that we call oscypek. You can attend a folk festival. So there are a lot of things you can do while spending holidays in the mountains. I have just noticed that there is a spelling mistake in the title, in the mountains, so I apologize for that. All right, so I think that's all. I don't want to bore you with too many words about holidays, but I think you will find these ones quite useful. And in our next lesson, we will continue to discuss the topic of holidays. However, this time we'll be talking about problems that you can have while on holidays. So, thank you very much and see you in about 10 minutes.